Also, speaking of people being unhinged, more JD Vance audio has resurfaced. New Vance audio in an interview from 2020. JD Vance agrees with a podcast host who says having grandmothers help raise children is the whole purpose of the post-menopausal female.
And you can sort of see the effect it has on him to be around them. Like, they spoil him. There's sort of all the classic stuff that grandparents do to grandchildren. But it makes him a much better human being to have exposure to his grandparents.
Well, I don't know.
And the evidence on this, by the way, is like super clear.
That's the whole purpose of the postmenopausal female in theory. Did your in-laws, and particularly your mother...
Bro, too much internet, man. Too much internet. Too much fucking internet. That's it. You're doing it. You're doing too much internet. He did it. He went on these fucking random loser podcasts and he talked about postmenopausal females. How the fuck did the Trump camp not look at this immediately after Donald Trump Jr. was the one who said we should have JD Vance? That's the first thing I would have done. Oh, my fucking loser son who's really invested in memes is telling me that this is a good pick. Let me go search like any podcast appearances that he's made, because I know he's made podcast appearances because my dumbass son loves making podcast appearances because he's a fucking loser. And so is JD Vance, the exact same kind of fucking loser.
In-law show up in some huge way.
She lived with us for a year.
Right.
So, you know.
So I didn't know the answer to that.
Right. No,
because that's...
Like, he can't talk about something so normal, right? Like, he has personal experiences with being raised by his grandparents. This is something that we know about his background. He could just be normal about it and be like, I was very fortunate that my grandmother and my grandfather was in my life. I loved coming from a large family like that. You know, I saw the benefits of that. No, he has to fucking say like, postmenopausal females have a natural predisposition to take care of the children of the family. It's like, dude, you're so fucking weird. Why? Like, it blows my mind that he mathematically figures out the grossest way to talk about shit in a way that like is both parts nerdy and part like dehumanizing of like normal people, that like nobody in Ohio that hears this is going to go, yeah, that's my guy. Okay.
So that's this weird unadvertised feature of marrying an Indian woman.
So it's in some ways the most transgressive thing I've...
What?
Huge way.
She lived with
mother-in-law. Did your in-laws, and particularly your mother-in-law, show up in some huge way?
She lived with us for a year.
Right.
So, you know.
So I didn't know the answer to that.
Right. No.
Because that's this weird unadvertised feature of marrying an Indian woman.
So it's in some...
Bro, these dudes need lobotomies to be normal. I swear to God. Like, the words that you're using could not be grosser, okay? I don't know. They just can't help themselves. I think it's just like a charisma problem. You know what I mean? It's just a charisma problem. He could just be like, bro, I married into an Indian family. They really love family values, okay? My mother-in-law is like very invested in my life, okay? But no, he has to do it with Eric Weinstein, who just has to be a weird fucking racist loser about it. You know what I mean? Like,
in some ways the most transgressive thing I've ever done against sort of the hyper neoliberal approach to work and family. My wife had this baby 7 weeks before she started the clerkship. He was still not sleeping any more than an hour.
Are you even listening to what he's saying? Yes, I am. And I'm also filtering it to make it appear normal, because what he's saying, both of those things that he just mentioned, both the podcast host and JD Vance, both of what they said is not that weird to say. Like, the actual statement of like grandparents taking care of your children is actually not a bad thing. It's actually a really good thing, is a perfectly normal thing to say. Okay. Postmenopausal females have a natural predisposition towards taking care of the born child is an insanely weird way to say it. Okay. And the on the other side, the podcast host being like, well, this is an unadvertised feature of the Indian race is also fucking insane. Like, why? Like, what? Why can't these guys just talk normal? And whenever he tries to talk normal, he keeps saying, mamaw, mamaw, my mamaw, my mamaw. And it's like, bro, that's also weird. Like, you're not.
I remember my mamaw, she couldn't afford her medication.
Like, I want to shake him and be like, be fucking normal, dumbass. What's wrong with you? Yeah, I come from Nepal and it made sense, but every chatter was shitting on it, so I just didn't say anything in chat. No, like, it's not a weird thing to say in general. It's just how he's saying it is fucking weird, okay? Do you understand what I mean? Like, he could just be like, listen, I'm a fucking white boy from Ohio. I had no idea what, like, Indian families were like. You know what I mean? I had no fucking idea that my, like, Indian mother-in-law was going to be so, like, all over the child raising process. Like, it's awesome. It's great. You know? It's wonderful. Like, my wife's family cares a lot about you know, being a part of my kid's life. It's the absolute worst way. Is the absolute worst way to say, like, a relatively normal thing. Okay? Because you just automatically hit it from, like, the weird scientific breeder fetish angle.
The clerkship, still not sleeping, work and family. My wife had this baby 7 weeks before she started the clerkship. It was still not sleeping any more than an hour and a half in a given interval. And her mom just took a sabbatical. She's a biology professor in California.
Yeah, describing your wife as having features like she's the new iPhone. It's just, you have a clear disposition. Yeah, I do. I actually yell at fucking chatters all the time for being weird too. I don't know if you know this. There's plenty of fucking leftists in this community that are objectively not normal, and I yell at them all the time, and they almost always turn around and fucking double down on the weirdness and be like, I'm not normal. It's not normal. I'm not going to be normal. Shut the fuck up. You're being ableist or whatever the fuck. And then I ban them. Okay? So no, this is a equal opportunity smoke moment.
Just took a sabbatical for a year and came and lived with us and took care of our kid for a year.
Okay,
so and it was just one of these things where it's like, this is what you do.
So a biology professor, PhD,
yes,
drops what they're doing,
yeah,
to immediately tend to the needs of a new mother with her infant.
Painfully economically inefficient. Right?
Can I just propose?
Like, why didn't she just keep her job, give us part of the wages to pay somebody else to do it, right? Because that is the thing that the hyper liberalized economics wants you to do. The economic logic of always prioritizing paid wage labor over other forms of contributing to a society is to me, it's actually a consequence of a sort of fundamental liberalism that is ultimately going to unwind and collapse upon itself. I think it's the abandonment of a sort of Aristotelian.
This is such a white conversation. It's like when your chatters ask you why you live with your parents. I know, but it's like I get what he's trying to say. Okay, I get what he's trying to say. Once again, what he's trying to say is actually sound. Okay, what he's trying to say is that capitalism causes people to operate in a way that is not beneficial. It makes people alienate from one another, not only just alienate from their labor, but alienate from one another, and it destroys the family unit. It is not, everyone is constantly talking about productive labor. Everyone is constantly focused on productive labor. Everyone is constantly focused on like what their contribution to the economy would look like, and that creates this vacuum where women that want to have children, women that want to actually take care of their children, it causes them to move away from doing things like that. Okay, that's what that's what he is basically trying to fucking say. But he's doing a really bad job at saying those things. He doesn't believe it's capitalism. He won't say all that. All he does is uses liberalism as a scapegoat to point fingers at the left. Yeah. Yeah, because he's also like a Silicon Valley tech loser. Of course he's not going to say it's capitalism.
Virtue politics for a hyper market-oriented way of thinking about what's good and what's desirable. If people are paying for it and it contributes to GDP and it makes the economic consumption numbers rise, then it's good. And if it doesn't, it's bad. I think that entire sort of, to me, that's sort of the root of our political problem.
I think there's a tendency for a lot of these guys who want to sound super smart to like hyper intellectualize certain subjects. And it comes across as like boring and dare I say sociopathic. It might come across as like super intelligent to like people who are desperate for some kind of pseudo intellectual drivel, right? But like when you're running for president, all of a sudden, no, don't say Ben Shapiro. Ben Shapiro has his moments like that. But I don't think Ben Shapiro would talk about fucking like postmenopausal females, okay? For all of his faults, Ben Shapiro at least like is still a better room reader than JD Vance is. Okay, you give Ben too much credit. Look, I think Ben Shapiro is a bad person. Okay, but I think Ben Shapiro also legitimately loves his family. Okay, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm crazy for saying that, but I've never gotten the attitude. Like I don't think I could see Ben Shapiro being like, my stupid son or daughter asked me about Pokemon and I told him to shut the fuck up for a second.
So he's trying to talk to me about Pikachu. And I'm on the phone with Donald Trump. And I'm like, son, shut the hell up for 30 seconds about Pikachu. This is the most important phone call of my life. Please just let me take this phone call.
Like that's like a very specific type of person. I don't think Ben Shapiro would say that. Matt Walsh would say that though. Yes. The old women thing is something Matt Walsh would say. Yes. Yes. You are abso-fucking-lutely right. Matt Walsh would 100% say some shit like that. Some weird ass shit like that. Okay? Yes. Yes. Like, I saw another interview that he did with Eric fucking Weinstein, not even Brett. Okay?
The lesser Weinstein.
The lesser Weinstein. And he's calling, like, he talks about his wife or he talks about his mother-in-law as a, like, and says that like he uses terms such as, what did he say? Postmenopausal females have a genetic predisposition to like engage in child rearing. Like it just
what?
It's like it's.
Oh, you mean their grandkids? You fucking idiot! That's amazing. They
Their
have
purpose
affection for
he's
their
saying is that
grandkids.
Yeah, it's just like there is such a normal way to say that. You're not making a statement that is like that out of pocket, but the way that you're saying it makes it sound like you're an insane person, dude. Like, look, I mean, here, just listen to the clip and you'll understand.
You can sort of see the effect it has on him to be around them. Like they spoil him. There's sort of all the classic stuff that grandparents do to grandchildren, but it makes him a much better human being to have exposure to his grandparents.
Well, I don't know.
And the evidence on this, by the way, is like super clear.
That's the whole purpose of the postmenopausal female in theory. Did your
like
whose theory?
Eric Weinstein, postmenopausal female. He's like, yeah.
in-laws, and particularly your mother-in-law, show up in some huge way?
She lived with us for a year.
Right.
So, you know.
So I didn't know the answer to that.
Right. No.
Because that's this weird unadvertised feature of marrying an Indian woman.
So it's in some ways the most transgressive thing I've ever done against.
Bro, you can
like leave it to be like.
No, this podcast should have never been aired. The moment that you have like any kind of political political ambition, you're sitting across from fucking Eric Weinstein saying postmenopausal female saying like it's an unadvertised like genetic trait of the Indian.
Yeah.
Like
It's like, and again, this should be a slam dunk normal statement. Like the type of thing you say to, the aunt in your family you have the most strained relationship at Thanksgiving when you have nothing to talk about. Oh, my niece has been spending a lot of time with grandma. Grandma loves her fucking grandkids.
Yes.
Isn't it great how the older members of the family and they have this symbiotic relationship where it's exciting for both of them and blah, blah, blah. Very uncontroversial statement. And then you just sprinkle like some insane person stuff on that.
Yeah.
And you're like, the femoid species, when their fucking estrogen runs out and you can't use their pussies anymore, their instinct is to raise the young. And Indians get a racial buff on grandkids.
yeah.
What? What are
It's
you
just-
talking about? How did you took such a normal thing and you made it so fucking strange?
But it's because he's like he has the same like Elon Musk tendency of like wanting to be wanted by like the dumbest fucking losers. Like he got swept away. He got swept away by like, I guess, all the shit that he saw on his timeline. That's why he was following like, Heil Hitler 97 or whatever the
A
fuck.
lot of those were fake.
No,
to be
I know,
fair.
but I'm saying like,
Yeah.
but dude, he literally retweeted
Yeah.
the guy who fucking got fired for attending a white nationalist conference yesterday.
Yeah, you don't have to make him up because he like is very deep in that world.
Yeah, yeah. That's I'm exaggerating when I
Yeah.
say the Heil Hitler 97, but like he is like, bro, he went on didn't he go on fucking Amy Teresi's podcast
Believe
or
he
some
did.
shit? Like that's insane, bro. What are you doing?
Yeah.
You should be lobotomized.
It is like, yeah, no, it's like he has the stench of like not just someone who's too deep into that world, but most pathetically of all, someone who got into it when they were like 40. There is something very alienating to people of someone who, like, okay, according to his rule, according to his current view of the world, he was like whatever you want to call it, the New World Order or fucking Globo Homo or whatever these people say, right?
Yeah.
He was like the James Bond of that world. He was like their above foot soldier. He wrote a book that was like the IMF should take over Appalachia
Yeah.
because they're lazy.
And force feed them the right Sigma Grindset podcast so they can pick themselves up by their fucking bootstraps.
He literally, his claim to fame was throwing his family under the bus. And he all this stuff that these guys hate now, the World Economic Forum, all this, those were the only places he went to. And then when he's 40, he's like, wait, oh, the opposite is true. I know that me, who just figured this out, I should be telling everyone what to do.
Yeah. He appeared on Laura Ingraham again to come across. Wait, by the way,
More eyeshadow. He's wearing
Yeah.
more eyeshadow than her.
Just
That's
want to point
crazy.
out, Laura Ingraham literally is a childless cat lady who, like, by JD Vance's standards, she has 3 adopted children. I think they're like literally from Guatemala too, or El Salvador, if I'm not mistaken. So like, for her to have JD Vance on and routinely defend him is additionally funny because he has directly attacked her.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But let's see.
Senator, one of my dear friends tonight said to me, well, all these suburban women, all they care about is abortion, and they don't understand that decision is with the states now. It's not banned nationally, even if...
This is such a fun little gaslighting operation that they've been trying to do. This is like Trump. Trump tried to message his way out of the abortion ban by simultaneously being like, it's good that I did it to continue, the wave of evangelicals voting for him, but also recognizes that like everybody fucking hates it.
Yeah. And then he got like, when he faced like a minor rebellion with like the Kyle Rittenhouse thing and all these other people, he was like, okay, I'll ban it.
Yeah.
And then it just, no, 10 million more independent voters just gone.
Yeah, it's
forever.
awesome. It's awesome that he's like, it's awesome that they're trying to be like, no, everybody likes it.
Yeah.
Everybody actually, all the legal scholars wanted Roe v. Wade gone.
Yeah, and they needed it gone, and it's better than it's gone, but also it has no effect.
Yeah, yeah.
It might as well have not happened.
Yeah.
To the point that we didn't do it. But we also did it, so vote for us if you're evangelical.
Yeah, let's hear what he had to say.
Some people don't understand that decision is with the states now.
Yeah,
it's not
the
banned
states now, and it's good. That's why it's so good. That's why we're, as the Republican Party, we're trying to get it off the ballots desperately.
Yeah.
or just completely overturning the ballot measures in states like Kentucky and Kansas and everywhere else where they do make that decision, and then they're like, yeah, actually, we lied. We're still going to ban abortion.
Yeah. No, it is the generational crisis for them. It is like, again, I don't think people fully processed how insane the 2022 result was. Yeah. Knowing how unpopular Biden was. Everyone hated the fucking economy. Everyone hated inflation. And yet...
negative real wage growth.
Yeah.
Like every single person got like a marginal boost in their salary that was completely wiped out by inflation. Like completely. Okay. They were poor. Americans were objectively poorer under Biden for the first 2 fucking years. And literally even then they couldn't win because they were so heavily invested in the trans panic, crime panic narratives and whatnot.
They crushed a Democratic Party led by a popular and charismatic speaker in Obama. Like some of their best midterms ever were against him. But against fucking stupid Joe, who is like clinically dead. Donald Trump, as the leader of the party, has not won a single midterm. Insane.
Yeah.
Insane.
No way a Nepo baby in this libtard thing with a vape addiction or shit talking people lmao. Brother, you have a anonymous account on Twitter to talk shit to people that you hate. Like, I cannot stress this enough. This is bottom of the barrel for you, okay? Like,
I also overcame my libtard diagnosis.
Yeah, he's no longer a libtard.
I had to go to a libtard school.
Yeah. It's awesome. Thank you, Chatter, for coming in and owning us in the marketplace of ideas.
Nationally, even if some people want it to be banned nationally, it's with the states. What do you say to suburban women out there who are marinating in this propaganda?
Well, first of all, I don't buy that, Laura. I think most suburban women care about the normal things that most Americans care about, right?
Senator, one of my...
They're trying to do the fucking we're not the weird ones, they are shit so hard.
They care about normal things like how Indian grandmothers have a genetic predisposition to have grandkids.
Dude, there is nothing more normal than being a woman or having a daughter or knowing a fucking woman in general and being worried about their medical fucking future, because so many of these abortions are not happening at the recreational basis that you fucking dumb losers claimed it was happening on. It's just like, it's so stupid. Of course normal people care about that. That is so dumb. I've never met a single fucking person who's like, who is normal that also is like, no, but it's so great that they're, you know, they were doing the Holocaust with the abortions and now they've stopped it.
Yeah. What's normal? An issue that literally affects everyone. Everyone cares about. That's not normal. What is normal is a 42-year-old with his mom's last name who every time he gets on camera is wearing eyeshadow and talks about his lifelong weight struggles. Which one's normal? I don't know. Who knows? Who's to say?
Guy at the gym called me a pussy. Liberal advice. Guy at the gym saw me in a Camo 2024 shirt. Can you hype me up real quick to go beat his ass? I mean, he's right. Why the fuck are you wearing a Camo? Why are you wearing a Camo?
Okay, pal, you're yanking our chain here.
If you're wearing a Camo 2024 shirt at the gym, you kind of deserve it. I'm not gonna lie, bro. How, like, The campaign is like been around for a month. How the fuck did you get a Kamala 2024 shirt?
He pre-ordered.
Oh my god,
dude. You know what? I briefly left Equinox in 2019, the one in Williamsburg when I used to live in Brooklyn, because I saw a Pete Buttigieg shirt. I saw one there, and I was like, I've got to leave.
West Hollywood Equinox is the only place that you will see that. By the way, this was like the hotbed. The rich white gays were the rich white racist gays with the Pete Buttigieg shirts. Oh my god, that's the only time I've ever seen one in the wild.
For me, it wasn't like, this was before Mayor Pete was like really nationally known. It was before primary season kicked into full gear. It was more it could have been any candidate, but just the fact that someone who cared about like a primary candidate that much, I think it was like 2018. In 2018, really just alienated me from that place.
That's
it was
insane.
A great gym.
Oh my god.
He looked god.
Where else can you get tricked out in the
Ohio
sauna,
Senator.
though? You gotta find a new place to do that.
I love the accounts of like straight guys who use the sauna in the West Hollywood one.
It's me, by the way. Me, I have done that.
They're like, hey fellas, can you cut it out in here? Can you stop? He's a guy who doesn't know what gay sex is. Can you guys stop fucking horseplaying in here?
Yeah, what's going on? What are you guys doing over there? Is that a new stretching technique?
Hey, guys, cut it out.
Okay, let's see what the
Senator JD Vance, the 2024 Republican vice presidential candidate, running mate of Donald Trump. Senator, it's great to see you. When you look back on this, I mean, they destroyed Biden's career. They pushed him out of the race. They used the media to whip up the propaganda to try to demoralize Trump supporters. And at the end of all this, Senator, your campaign is up 1 point nationally.
Yeah.
Congratulations. Yeah, the media tried to demoralize the Trump campaign, and there's a whopping within the margin of error 1 point increase over Kamala from this Fox News poll.
They were fucking clobbering Biden.
Dude, it was, oh my god. That's why he keeps talking about how sad he is that he defeated Biden so thoroughly.
That's his favorite op.
Yeah.
I do feel bad for him.
Yeah.
I do, like, in a way. I do it was so fun for him to like see Biden. I think for old people too, it's exciting for them, for a really old person to see someone who's
7.5% margin of interest. That's okay. That's crazy. Why does this one say 3 points? That's normal. This one, 7.5% margin of interest. The fuck?
Why even have a poll? Why even
margin
have a poll
margin of error, not margin of interest. Sorry, shut up.
Why
you know what I mean?
Have a poll if you might as well just like be like, we shook an 8-ball. We flipped a coin.
That
Trump's gonna win.
Independents love Donald Trump. 100% margin of error.
It's so bad.
This is the anybody want me? 100% no. But then they just came back and were like, yeah, fuck it.
I like all the like, not even like the Rasmussen or any of the crazy ones can produce a poll where JD Vance is like less than 10 points underwater.
Oh yeah, no, even the Fox News poll. The Fox News poll said JD Vance is polling more poorly amongst Republican voters. Like, people that get to know him hate him the most. It is a real Ron DeSantis moment for him. And he just has to sit there and be like, meh. like when Dana Fash was like, they were saying that about JD. Meh.
Well, certainly they've levied that charge against me more than anybody else, but I think that it drives home how they're trying to...
You're such a cuck. He just fucking ate that, dude. Oh my God, JD Vance is, I know exactly what photo this is. Yep, this is JD, baby. Was like, Donald Trump said you're the weird one and not him. What do you have to say to that? And he was just like, meh, I am weird.
I love the evil little face he makes is so like, Like you're right. The way they characterize it, where they're like, okay, so the entire liberal media machine and every celebrity and everyone has talked about how you're gross and you fucking look and act weird and no one likes you and everyone's talking about how much they hate you. And look, the result of all that, you're not that unpopular. Like it didn't work that well.
Look, we polled 10 people in your hometown and only 9 of them said they want to kill you with hammers. This is objectively better than the last poll where 10 people said it. So it seems like there's momentum for you, JD Vance.
Dude, how did he almost lost to Tim Ryan?
Yeah.
How did they pick Tim fucking Ryan?
Bro, in Ohio, deep red Ohio, on the same fucking ballot, the governor, who is like obviously more moderate and obviously it's different for governors. Governors can be significantly more popular than the rest of the ticket. But by 25 points, like but DeWine got 25 points on fucking JD Vance. JD Vance underperformed Donald Trump in Ohio.
Mike DeWine might as well be like Hafez al-Assad in Ohio. Like he's Mr. Business Republican. He's the type of guy that they barely have anymore. And JD Vance almost Mike DeWine probably gets 30% margins without Vance on the ticket.
Yeah, Vance brought him. Yeah, Vance brought him down.
He's that fucking bad. He is electoral poison.
Yeah, it's so awesome that they picked him. It could have been Doug Burgum. Like it came down to the wire, dude. I was a Burgumaniac, and I was riding with Burgum. I was excited about it. There's 2 big misses in this election cycle. RFK Jr. could have had Jesse Ventura, and I would have voted for him if he did. And despite the fact that he is like seemingly John Fetterman style brainwormed on Israel,
I don't think Ventura would have accepted.
No, he said he was thinking about it. He was like
I don't think he would do it ultimately, though.
Yeah, he's super lived up.
He hates like everything RFK stands for.
Yeah, but it would have been sick. And then Doug Burgum could have been the ticket leader for Donald Trump.
There is a version of reality where Biden stays in and Trump picks Burgum. And it's like the first time Trump ever wins the popular vote and they win the House and Senate. That is a version of reality.
Oh, she's pressing buttons. Calm down. No. Anyway, guys, love you all, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.